Hi folks, welcome to this A2PE video on profile of mood state, or POMS as it's also known. POMS, basically what is it? It's a graph that measures 6 moods or 6 emotions. So we'll write there, these are the key things that will get you max. 6 moods / emotions. Okay? As you can see at the bottom, this is what they are. Okay, let me just change the pen here. You've got tension, depression, anger, vigour, fatigue, confusion. So these 6 emotions, 5 of them are negative. Okay? Tension, depression, anger, fatigue and confusion. We therefore have one that is positive, and that one being vigour. How vigorous you are, how much energy you have, how enthused you feel. Okay? So they're the things that it aims to measure. Now here's what we generally find. Less successful performer / normal person. I hate using the term normal person, but people on the street, non-athletes, things like that, they will be consistent across 6 moods. I.e., there's not, I mean in this graph it shows it going up a little bit on various ones, but basically what we are seeing here is relatively consistent, nothing flash, nothing disastrous. The tension isn't high, neither is the depression, but neither is the vigour or anything like that. That's what we generally see. What we see, however, on a successful performer, an athlete, is something called an iceberg profile. Okay, now what we mean by an iceberg profile is this thing. Imagine that's the water line. Okay, look at this big thing sticking up here. That is vigour. Okay, energy is high. So you're relatively low in tension. Sometimes here, look, you've got tension that's above a normal person. Well, when you're competing regularly, taking on the best in the world, there's going to be an element of tension in your life. Sometimes it's way below that line if you're playing really, really well and you're dominating your opponents regularly. Sometimes it's a little bit above, but nothing to worry about. Depression isn't really high, anger isn't high, but vigour, very, very high in vigour. Okay, and the fatigue and the confusion scores are also low as well. So what is a classic iceberg profile? They've got to have high vigour. You can't have an iceberg profile on anger or depression. It's not the same thing. It's got to be high on vigour. So that is basically what a profile of mood state graph demonstrates. Okay, now there have questions been, can we use it to identify elite athletes? Could we get you to do this questionnaire, produce one of these and spot if you are elite? So we'll have a quick look at that now. So the agreed part to that station, can we use POMS to identify elite athletes? Well, mood is dependent on the situation. So if you are winning and you are playing well, you are naturally going to be low in depression and tension and confusion and anger, and you're going to be high in vigour. So that supports that, because if you are vigorous, it shows that you are currently feeling positive and chances are you're going to be successful. It's also more accurate than trait theory. Think back to ISENC. Are you a stable extrovert or a neurotic introvert or whatever you are, that's you for the rest of your life. But we know that we change and we fluctuate, and sometimes we feel great and sometimes we don't. POMS, you need to do every few days, maybe once a week, in order to assess your state of mind. So it is definitely more accurate than just doing a trait theory questionnaire and figuring out what your personality type is, because it's based on how you currently feel. Also, what do we know? Well, if you are successful, you're naturally going to be more vigorous. You're going to feel more positive. You're going to be full of energy because it's going well. It's feeling absolutely great. But then there's a counter argument as well. So finally, the disagree side of it, okay, it's been shown many, many times. Some elite performers just do not show iceberg profiles. They don't produce them. Yet they're still elite and they're still being successful. Equally, there's many non-elite performers that demonstrate iceberg profiles. So fun runners, just but no one of a great standard, but they're still producing an iceberg profile. And finally, this is the one that, just think about it for a second. Some iceberg profiles produced because of success. Okay? The question is, can we use POMS to identify elite athletes? So we don't know if they're elite yet. So can we use POMS as a way to see if you can make it elite? Many people don't produce iceberg profiles until they've had some success. So that's not an indicator of future success. Basically, you're just confirming what you already know. So that's not an indicator. So, you know, you should use it as a talent ID. With regard to that, possibly not, because it's too late by then. You know that they're successful or not by that stage. So that's everything that covers POMS. Okay, I hope you found this video useful, folks.